figure out what to do with my gas tank. I'm sure the inside is a bit nasty. I don't know how rusty. I mean, just judging by the fuel pump assembly, that is quite corroded. I've got a new fuel pump. I've got a new fuel pump installed. I've got a Walbro pump. They're supposed to be good. I hope they're good. But I need to just assess the situation with this tank. Now, when I first pulled this out, I pulled this out a couple times. There's a hose that goes from right here to the pump. That hose was in bad shape. I mean, you wouldn't actually see me. That hose was in bad shape when I pulled this out the first time. It is now gone, just gone. There was a plastic clip on this side. I assume that's floating around in the tank. I don't know how to get that out. I don't exactly know how this was oriented. I removed the wiring from here. It's supposed to unplug from farther back. So I need to figure out how all this stuff is supposed to fit together so I can get an idea of maybe how the new one goes together. So this is my pump level. I mean, everything is just very rusty. Now I know how the wiring on the top, how it's oriented, just you can see the rust pattern of how it was. Let's see. So you can see this is a kind of an oval head, and so you can see it obviously went in just like this with that oval head, and so that gives me that indication. How it went on the bottom, I don't know. I can tell at least with the square pattern how this went. That gives me an idea of how this might have gone. But when you look at the rust pattern on the bottom, it looks round. This is square. I don't know if there's some kind of clip on the bottom or not. I mean, judging by the rust pattern, it looks like there might have been a round clip. Yeah, it might have been a clip. Where that clip is, I guess it's somewhere in the tank. I don't know. How the fuel pump fit in here? I assume something like that. Let's see. So the bottom of the assembly, that is an oval shape. Is this? Oh, that is kind of, all right, that's oval right there. That's good. That gives me an indication. I want to know how it went together stock, so when I start adding and replacing, it just gives me an idea of what I'm starting with. So where did that oval? All right, that fits in there like that, like so. Like that. I'm trying to see, these wires obviously would have contacted kind of the supply. Maybe like that. Went in like that. Does that make sense? Let's see. I still feel like there had to have been some kind of clip on the inside, and there very well might have been. Oh, that would have had to twist one way or another. And that one way or another is kind of the big question. Would it twist it that way? The wires certainly have a coil to them. They twisted that way? I don't know. And I really do think I need to go online to see if maybe there's a picture of the fuel pump and I can see if there's a clip on these wires, because it seems like there should be. Let me just tell you, this gas, it stinks. I've dumped most of it out, all I could get out. There's so many valves in there I can't get it all out. I need to see if I have a siphon anywhere, or maybe just buy a siphon to get the rest of it out. But yeah, I just can't quite tell. How's it going? You can see there's ears on this. I can't tell in these ears. They doesn't look like they're broken off, because if they are, they both broke off the same way, which does not seem likely. I think there must have been a clip on the inside that held this piece in place. I just don't know how it would have twisted. Alright, let's twist that back. So the pump should sit in there. I guess it just sits there. Should that not have a clip? Should that not tie in somehow? Just sits there? Maybe I guess the hose from the pump to the supply hold it in place. One cool thing is that this locking ring, no rust whatsoever, popped out easy the first time. That's always good. You can see my sock completely obliterated. I mean, it's nasty, destroyed. Oh man, it's like, I don't know, maybe 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch of gas on the bottom. Let me get a light, see if I can hear in there a little bit better. Show you a little bit what's in there. You can see there's just crud everywhere. But I tried to dump as much of it as I could out. Eventually those baffles, I mean, I was twisting all which ways trying to get out, and those baffles just prevent you from getting all of it out. I don't know if I have a siphon. You know, I do have a siphon. I don't know if I have one that's deep enough for this tank. Over here, let's look at my new fuel pump. Good old Walbro. So that's got electrical connection. That's got that supply bottom suction. And the Walbro does, I bought the insulation kit that comes with a sock for the bottom, which should fit perfectly. It is about the same size. Also the same, where is that? Alright, that goes to there, that's good, that's a vent. I feel like I need to splice into the stock harness, which is 4-wire, this is 2-wire, and this harness is 4-wire. So 2 of these are ground, that's interesting. And then I got 2 more wires. I bought an installation kit to begin with I thought was right, that was not. And I quickly had to cancel that order and order this one. So it comes with a sock, which is great, for the bottom of the fuel pump. I've got a bit of fuel line, which is what I need. 2 fuel clamps. I've got 2 wiring crimps. This little clip, I don't know what it is. This looks like it might be a seal for the sock. This might be, I don't know what the seal is for. Maybe the fuel pump where it attached to the tank, maybe. There has some instructions, I'm sure it might be there. Another clip, I don't know what it is, and then wiring. So all that looks good. I'm very happy with what that looks like it has. And it might even tell me what to splice into. If not, I can find a Chevrolet wiring diagram and figure that out. So all that is good. Pump, it's looking good. Let's look into the tank. I looked real quick. Definitely some sediment, some junk. Didn't see my little plastic clip that used to be on here. Didn't see a clip that went for the wiring. I think I'm just gonna look at, like, you know, Advanced Auto, O'Reilly's, and see what the fuel pump assembly looks like. See if I see a clip. I got a good indication. What you can't capture is the smell, man. My eyes were getting in water. But I noticed this on my vent. See that? That is a hole right there. That's all the way through. Why is that bad? Well, the gas smell vents. It's gonna vent through there instead of being stuck to the tank. It's gonna be right there. So that will need to be replaced. Yet another thing that needs to be replaced. I'm so happy and excited. Now let's check out the tank. Definitely some sediment inside. You can see just the filler neck. Let me get some light on that. That is quite a bit crusty. Get in there. Can we get in there? At what point do you replace the gas tank? And the question might be, how much does a gas tank cost? So the camera does not want to focus. So you can see some sediment in that corner. Yeah, I think what it is, you know, when you get low, that baffle's there just to keep a little bit of gas around the pump, keep it cool, makes sense. Let's see. Looks like it's just kind of a pan around it. Let's see if we can see anything this way. You can kind of see over the tank that way. The whole tank is overall pretty crusty. So if you're following along previously, as I was talking about the fuel pump and how splicing the wires, you're probably thinking, this guy has no idea what he's talking about. And that was clear, and that was true. In that instance, I had no idea what I was talking about. I think I was just overthinking this fuel pump issue. It's very simple. I have 2 wires off my new fuel pump. They splice into these 2 wires. You got black and white, black and red on the new fuel pump. It's very easy. It splices here. I don't know. I was just overthinking this. It's late. I give you a lot of excuses. I just don't know what's going on. I splice on this side. So I need this one, this harness to connect to the outside harness that I pulled out. That clip and the clip that used to be on this other side and this hose, they don't matter because I've gotten you for all that. Now, are they floating around this tank? That is the question. I don't know. This tank, I don't think it's beyond repair. I think it can be fixed. I mean, even like the kind of the crusty in the opener neck, I was using my wood dowel and that was coming out. You can see the wood dowel. Pretty dirty. A lot of crud in there. A lot of sediment in the bottom. That definitely needs to come out. I don't want that clogging up my sock. I mean, that definitely potentially is an issue. When you see that sock, it's dirty. I'm not sure if all that happened as it was sitting or before. It might have been a mix of both. This thing needs to be cleaned out. I'm thinking distilled white vinegar and baking soda. Let it sit. I've not looked at the top of the tank. I need to see if I can see the top of the tank, get to see if that looks bad or not. I don't want to put, and this is a 20-gallon tank, I don't want to put 20 gallons of vinegar in here. I don't want to have to buy 20 gallons of vinegar. It's $2 to $3 a gallon. That's $40 to $60 worth of vinegar. I don't think many people buy $40 to $60 worth of vinegar at a time. You know, I guess maybe I could do half the tank, get 10 gallons, put in the bottom half, let it sit for a day, flip it, do the top half, let it sit for a day. I don't know what that do to the fuel pump. It's the old fuel pump, so it doesn't matter. Maybe I just take the whole thing out. Would that mess with all the connections? I mean, gasoline doesn't, so maybe it'd be okay. I mean, those connections, they're a little crusty. It's a good question. Do I take all that stuff out? But if it's okay with gasoline, why would it not be okay with vinegar? I don't know. If you know, let me know. If you're watching this video, well, I've already have done it. Will it be too late? Good question. that's where I feel overall way better about this. I don't think the tank is beyond repair, which is good. New fuel pump, that is easy. I was just overthinking it. I don't know what I was thinking. I think maybe I was just confused. That happens. Sometimes I get confused. This was one of those cases. I don't know if I need to reuse that little bushing baffle thing at the bottom. I guess maybe. We'll see. I guess once I start putting it together, if it seems like it fits better with it, we'll do it. I mean, that sock definitely is, that thing is rough. So a new sock will be good. I mean, that, you can see, like, there's kind of openings and holes in that. Great strides have been made, even though I didn't actually do any work. Mental strides were made, and that's good, too. I think I figured out how this works based on my forensic analysis. So I know this fits in this orientation just with the way the rust pattern is on top. And I thought it fit like this. It just seemed right. Just with the way, don't want to let over. Just the way this little thing is. And if I looked at it, if you do this way, look at the rust pattern right there. That completely matches up right there on that pipe like that. When you twist it the other way, one twist that way, twist it this way, rust pattern doesn't match up. So I think that is it. And my forensic analysis has determined the answer. So that is awesome. I feel very confident about that. So here's what I figured out looking online at fuel pumps, because none of them are GM, they're all aftermarket. The assemblies look a lot like this. I was right in how this clip goes as far as the orientation, but there was, it seemed like there's a rust circle here that did not match the clip. There should be some kind of metal clip that came down, and that is why you have this little, see that little knob on there? It clips onto this and holds this to the top of the assembly. Well, that is long gone. I don't know where that is. I didn't hear it rattling around in the gas tank when I emptied it at any point. Maybe it just completely disappeared. Who knows? You can see like this black crud. That's where the fuel line hose was that connected to the fuel pump. I mean, it just was non-existent anymore. Let's see. Other than that, I mean, everything pretty much looks the same other than like just how corroded this is. I did not see any kind of clips or anything else. Really, I was wondering how this fit, if there are any clips or anything, or just this hose keeps the top of the fuel pump in place along with this bottom. Seems like that is the case. I am concerned about how rusty some of this is, but worst case scenario, my fuel pump will work because it is brand new, and the wiring, I'm going to make sure the wiring is good and clean before I reinstall it. Will my fuel level indicator, the fuel level sending unit work? I don't know, your guess is as good as mine. If it doesn't, I guess we can pull it all back out and redo it. Not the best way to do things, but I don't want to keep replacing things. And I look up some of these parts, and one fuel sending unit assembly is 150, one is 50. What's the difference? Well, it doesn't say. I don't know. And I'm hesitant to spend 150 if 50 will do it. I think the crucial part of this is the fuel pump. I mean, this is a GM vehicle, so I never really pay attention to the gas gauge because the gas gauge goes full, 3/4, half empty. I always just base it off the odometer anyway. So ultimately that may not matter. All the aftermarket ones, they either just have the worm gear style clamps top and bottom. I didn't see any plastic clips, which is fine. Worm gears work great for me. But I think I'm going to roll with this one. I've learned a few things, know a little bit more. That is handy. So I've got my fuel pump and sender and all my pieces here, so we can see what we can put together. I need to clean this up. I don't know. Do I just soak this? I mean, the tank, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some vinegar to soak it, get rid of some of the rust. What I've read is put a chain in there, and that will help disturb the rust on the sides, which seems like a great idea. This, I guess, I wonder if I can just soak this too. It's got some electronics here, but it's been soaked in the gas tank, so vinegar can't be that much worse. So I may do that because this definitely needs to be cleaned up. I mean, these terminals are a little rough. I've laid all my pieces out here. I think it's just a matter of putting it together. The sending unit, it does have this opening, and I have this existing piece of rubber that fits in there decent. Now this piece of rubber, I guess it used to be rubber, it's a little solid now, fits in there decently well. This is a fuel pump isolator, but it does not really fit in here at all. It's obviously made for something different. But I can just use this stock one, that's fine. The fuel pump would fit in here like so. That looks fine. I've got my electronics and my fuel line, which I've got more fuel line than I need. And I think with the fuel line on the top and actually on the bottom, I think it'll just sit in there fine. I mean, the instructions talked about adding a zip tie, And maybe I added a zip tie kind of loosely just to help stabilize it against the post. I don't know. I got electronics, butt joints, fuel line, and the fuel line goes from the just top of the fuel pump to the, So my fuel line is too small for this sending unit. I think this is 1/4 inch line, and this might be 5/16 or even 3/8, but this line is not going to fit on the fuel pump sending unit. Don't quite know what to do with that. I'm going to have to look into that. I'm assuming I get some kind of adapter or something to splice together. Of course, that's more than I want to do. I was hoping I could put this thing together, but that is not going to happen. For the wiring, I just need to clip. This went to the stock fuel pump. I just need to clip it, splice in the new pump. But man, I can't believe that fuel line does not fit. I'm going to look at that, see what I need to figure out. Now, if you have terminals like this that are corroded, baking soda works great. You can just mix it in a little water mixture, and it'll take care of that corrosion perfectly. And this whole thing needs to be soaked anyway. But I may just clean up those terminals for now, because why not? I need to see some immediate results. I'm going to see if I can clean up my fuel tank. I got just like a little bit of gas in the bottom, so I'm going to see if I can just use some rags to help soak it up and let the gas evaporate away. Because I could not dump what little was left in here. But very, very little bit left, not very much. I've kind of peeked in there at the sediment still trapped in there. There's still quite a bit of sediment. So when I let the vinegar soak in here, that should help that with the chain. That'll help slosh around. You don't want to use anything, like you could use bolts and stuff like that, but they can have some sharp edges, and you want everything kind of rounded so that you're not denting anything. Not that it really matters for this tank, but with all things, take a little bit of time to make sure you keep it clean and keep it neat. Ounce of provision, pound of something, I don't know. There's a saying there, it is somewhere. So a little bit of baking soda on these corroded connections will clean them right up. Usually I try to make a water and baking soda paste first. I'm just going to put a little bit of baking soda on there to begin with. So I believe baking soda is a base. Cleaning up a little bit. Use something like vinegar, which is an acid which cuts through the rust, and then baking soda neutralizes the vinegar so it does not flash rust afterwards. So those connections, once I get a brush scrub those will be looking a lot better. I really can go ahead and clip these wires. I wanted to see if my old fuel pump just even worked at all. I kind of think it doesn't, but if I get these wires, I can jump it with 12 volts and just see if it does anything whatsoever. Because if it does, well, maybe I keep it for hard times. If it doesn't work, there's no need to keep it. So I've just got a little bit of vinegar in a bucket here, and I'm scrubbing my sending unit. And man, just a little bit of scrubbing, and that rust is gone. Well, not completely gone. Disappearing at a great rate. It's certainly encouraging to see how it's cleaning up. My bucket is quickly filling with rusty brown water. But it's cleaning up, man. I'm seeing some actual steel again, which is great, which is what I want to see. I mean, this thing is rough. And I guess one thing to note about cleaning this with vinegar, vinegar will clean the rust up well. You need to neutralize the vinegar with baking soda so you don't get a flash rust. Because if you were to clean this with vinegar and just leave it, well, you're going to see some surface rust soon after. Now the real trick is how to clean the inside of these pipes. Pipe cleaners may come into play. Don't know if I have any. At least the outside looks much, much better. So I found the clip that the fuel pump wiring attaches to the wiring on the outside of the tank. That clip just tension fits to the plug. So, oh, there it goes. So that plug is on the outside, that clip is on the inside, and it basically just tension fits to hold it in place, and then the fuel pump wiring clips in place, that little opening, that's where it clips in place. So I got it, that will be able to put back as it should be, as per stock, so that is good. I also found this in the tank. I don't know what that is. I mean, I almost want to say it's like kind of some kind of rubber or something, but I don't know. I can't figure it out. It breaks rather easily. Who knows what it is? So this is currently the inside of the tank. It's the best as I can show you. The camera doesn't quite want to focus. You can see there's some, that kind of cloudy nonsense. That's crud in there. There's a lot of that does need to come out. Orange on the plastic, that's just crud. I'm hoping the vinegar will take care of that. But I'm hoping the tank will be clean by the end of this. There's certainly a lot of crud in there. Hoping to get it all out. So I'm curious if my old fuel pump will actually do anything. So I've got some jumper wire. We're going to see what happens. This battery does have some amount of charge. I don't know how much charge is actually required. Make sure this thing's pointing the right way. Nothing. I don't know. I think it would do something. That did nothing. All right, got something. I'm glad that the new fuel pump works. I just wanted some sign of life before I go on this journey because I don't want to put the whole thing in. I don't want to discover for some reason this pump doesn't work. The old one didn't do anything, no movement, no sound, nothing. So I feel justified in getting a new fuel pump. I mean, it's $100. I don't want to spend money needlessly, but I kind of figured I probably should do that. Maybe, yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, yes, I should have checked it first. I shouldn't just throw money at the problem, but I did, and it turned out, it worked out in my favor, so that's always good. So now that I know this pump is good and works, it's time to put it all back together, put the tank back together, put the tank back in the vehicle, put gas in it, and turn the key.